you know, just with Brian attempting to talk to Bloom. And listen, I'm just gonna say it, right? Let me start by saying this, okay? We are I kind of got a fill in on the situation, but I think what I'm gonna say, I always fucking say this, is like, look, we're a fucking team. We should have each other's backs, especially command. Like, this room is like us three together, right? We are command for shift 2, and if something arises, we need to approach it head on together. I don't think that anyone in this room wants to see anyone fail. That being said, I kind of want to, I guess we want to hear your thoughts on what's going on yesterday when Brian attempted to speak to Bloom about a situation he had.
The situation was that there was nothing wrong with the comms, and I don't understand why the conversation happened.
Okay, so that it's and again, I wasn't there. I don't know, but from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Brian showed up at MRPD to talk to Bloom, and then he was directly approached by you before he could talk to Bloom.
What do you mean? Like, I mean, we were both in the same car together, so
right.
Bloom was there. He heard.
Right, but here's the issue with that, right? If Brian needs to talk to Bloom, and you disagree, but Brian just says something and you immediately jump in, it's extremely demeaning when you have a lieutenant come in to talk to a corporal and a sergeant jumps in and starts speaking on his behalf. And I think that you could be, I don't know what the comms were. I didn't hear them. You could be entitled to think that is right or wrong or whatever it is. But to come in and speak over a lieutenant is completely inappropriate. And like I said, it kind of like demeans what Brian is saying. It belittles it. It goes against everything that chain of command is. So whether you're right or wrong in that situation has basically now been thrown out of the window because you chose to speak on behalf of a corporal and defend a lieutenant's actions. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. What I'm trying to say is that I spoke up because I think the conversation just didn't even need to happen. There was nothing wrong.
Who are you to
and it
say
felt,
so? On?
Because I was there. I was literally listening to the comms the whole time.
Did you know the context of the conversation?
You and me.
Here we go.
I was literally on the call. What was the comms question mark on the call? Even though Bloom literally gave perfect comms.
So
the chase was around 30 seconds long.
So asking for comms.
You literally asked on the radio during the chase comms when the comm had already been given, and I don't understand how there was any confusion.
You presumed what the conversation was going to be about.
Well, because it's pretty obvious when you literally were like, comms, hello, where are the comms? And then the first thing you say.
Into these conversations?
Why, when I think that somebody, we've had this issue before, when like, I feel like you're unnecessarily talking to somebody about an action that they have not done.
Okay.
Yes.
How long have you been a sergeant for? It is my place to
step in. How long have I been a sergeant for? I want to say like a month and a half, 2 months.
I got you. Has someone taught you chain of command?
Yes, I know my chain of command.
So do you understand what insubordination is?
Yes.
Did you think you were being insubordinate?
Do I think I was being insubordinate? Do I think I was protecting an officer from unnecessary...
Protecting him from a conversation?
Protecting him from being unnecessarily berated for something he didn't do.
Was he berated?
It was very clear that's the conversation that was going to happen.
Was he berated when I spoke to him in the room?
I don't know. You didn't let me in.
Why would I let you in, hon?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So how do you know? Why are you asking me if he was berated?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You were in the vehicle with him afterwards. Was he crying afterwards? Did he get sent off duty?
We didn't have a discussion about it. It doesn't matter if they were crying or sent off duty. I know that for a fact that he did nothing wrong, and that conversation didn't need to happen.
I need to ask you something.
It does nothing.
Okay. First. Okay. Take a couple deep breaths. Listen, like I said, it's not.
Hey, please don't tell me to calm down and take deep breaths. I don't need to be told how to feel. Thank you, though.
Okay. Well, at this point, listen. Now, I think you've escalated it. Obviously, you need to be told how to do your fucking job, because you to be able to talk to a lieutenant like that is completely fucking unacceptable. I mean, if you want to escalate, I'm going to fucking escalate 100%.
I thought it was
a fucking lieutenant comes in, and your fucking relationship with Bloom is stepping in the way of your job now.
No, because this happened with Pro too.
It doesn't matter.
Listen. This happened with Pro.
I don't give a shit. Your relationship with Bloom.
And I defended him.
Okay, what do you need to defend a lieutenant's actions for? He is your superior. It doesn't matter. Do you not understand how that works? Chain of command is if you have a situation with somebody that is higher than you, take it to somebody else. That is not that. You also stepped into a situation that maybe it indirectly involved you, but it didn't directly involve you, and you shit on what Brian was trying to say to a fucking corporal.
This is beside the point that you escalated it with your unnecessary comment.
I mean, that's the reality, and it's like, look, I want to come down. Like, as command, we should not be hot-headed and go on this whole thing. We should be able to have a civil conversation, but it's like, I don't know how to have a civil conversation when you're just on the defense or on the attack right now. And it's like, look, I'm telling you, like, look, calm down. It's okay. Like,
are you saying that I just have to lay down and comply? Is that how a civil conversation should go?
It's not even lay down.
What I'm
and
saying is, like, why can't
Pond.
I defend my actions? Is that not having a civil conversation?
Let me give you the reality of what took place. What I heard over that radio, I wasn't happy with it for a number of reasons. It wasn't the end of the world. I speak with probably 15 to 20 officers a day. You know how those conversations go. Tell me how it's going. Are you, you have a lot of energy today? Have you been on duty for a while? It's a friendly conversation. And the goal of that conversation is that I can better understand them. And that once we leave the room, I've improved and they have improved. But the moment I call an officer down, number one, not screaming at him. Number two, not shouting profanity.
Then I had a conversation with
all of which I can certainly do. And you know damn well that happens quite a bit. But the first thing that interaction consists of is you jumping to conclusions and freaking out. Now, all of a sudden, you've made that conversation a lot more dramatic than it needs to be. I had a very civil conversation with Bloom in this office, and we left it at that. I just, I think the really what's being said here is if and this includes you, Pond, if you need to go talk to another officer that you are responsible for, you should not expect someone else coming in and try to be their goddamn lawyer, especially when they don't even know what that conversation is going to entail. It's presumptuous, it's unbecoming, and it's just not something you should be doing.
So you're saying that I shouldn't defend another officer?
You don't even know what's being you don't even know what's being defended. You weren't privy to the conversation.
Regardless, it should be brought up. What
do you mean I don't know what's being defended? Yes, I did.
You didn't. You just jumped to a conclusion. Yeah. So the thing is yes, you can defend another officer. Wait to figure out what's said because you don't even know what's going on, and then approach that officer directly. But to do it again, that is the literal chain of command. Like, okay, lieutenant to sergeant to corporal. Okay, the lieutenant outranks the sergeant, and the sergeant outranks the corporal, right? So for a sergeant to speak up, and again, I understand that you want to defend somebody, but first off, you don't know what was said. You didn't even let Brian have the opportunity to say anything, and if you would have just waited and gone and waited to figure out what happened and talk to Brian after, then you could have fucking had a civil conversation and we wouldn't be in this room at all.
But you know when you know how hard I defended you when you left the LSPD.
So you're gonna say that I deserve to give you respect?
No. When I went to go bring up that problem, I went to Bass, and I sat down with him, and we had a good conversation. But you know what I wasn't gonna do, and what I didn't do, is that during that whole process, I made a big fucking deal in front of both you and him, because that doesn't help anybody. That is how you handle your disagreements. I mean, hell, if you disagree with me on like even
Brian should have gone to
speaking with
PBS
Bloom in the first place, has to have a chat with me, and
I mean,
we'll
that's
talk
not
about it in
technical. Like,
private,
we try
like
to handle
fucking
it,
adults.
but if somebody sees it,
I don't even think that's you know, is that unreasonable?
No, I just don't like how I'm being told that I'm a top. Can you give me 2 seconds? I really have to think about something. Just literally 2 seconds.
yeah.
$699-38 bound Alta Street in front of the servers building. A black.
Pond was well within her duty to be there. Beware. I don't agree. I don't agree.
13.
Wait, he could punish her. What the hell?
Good flag. Felony stop.
Negative. The individual was driving, so I'm just gonna see if we can just pull him out.
One, I'm not a child.
I don't think anyone has said anything about you being a child.
Brian literally just said that we can have an adult conversation, so I guess.
Well, that's. I mean, that's.
That means I'm still a child.
It's no. That's now you're just gaslighting. That does not mean it. It means having a civil.
You're the one who's telling me that I'm the one who can't keep calm, and you're shouting at me.
That you're literally manipulating what we're trying to say.
I'm not. I'm telling you that's how it's coming across to me.
It's not coming across.
Do you want people to undermine you?
But it is. I'm telling you how it's coming across to me.
Are you okay with you being undermined?
That's not me gaslighting you. That's me telling you how I'm receiving the information. If I was gaslighting, then I would be telling you that that's actually how it is. I'm telling you how it's making me feel.
It's not about she can't be wrong.
We want you to succeed. But you can't be undermining your superiors. Just as we are not going to find it acceptable for anyone to undermine you. It doesn't matter if it's something small or something a lot more serious. That's just the line.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, Pond. I listen, whether you believe this or not, I am one of your biggest fucking supporters, okay? I see the work you do, and I think there's situations where you fucking take charge, where leadership is needed, and you have a very set of useful skills that are detrimental to the fucking police force, right? And this is like, I think our intention was to bring you in here and just be like, look, this is where you are fucking up. This is how it could be better.